For most of us, riding fast is one of our key goals, but even if your goal isn't riding as fast as possible, surely you want to ride as easily and as efficiently as possible at the same speed. So coming up are my 5 top tips to improve your speed and efficiency on the bike. Best of all, not even going to cost you a penny. First up is your body position on the bikes, because unless you're cycling up an incredibly steep gradient, your aerodynamic drag and the wind resistance you create is one of the largest forms of resistance slowing you down that you're having to also overcome when you're riding along. Following on from the body position is the clothing that you wear. So a little while ago, Ooyy himself conducted a nice little experiment here at a famous climb just outside of Bath called Banner Down. Now, if you want to test that climb out for yourself, there'll be a link to Komoot in the description down below. Although I must say, I'm not in a rush to get back over there. But Ooyy's test confirmed that when you're out riding, if you've got loose and baggy clothing on, you do ride significantly slower than if you had tight form-fitting clothing, such as fancy high-end cycling specific kit. Now, in Ooyy's experiment, he rode a relatively short distance at a relatively low average power, but that still did confirm that there was a significant saving to be had by ditching those baggy shorts and baggy jerseys. And in his example, it showed there was an average speed increase of, again, around 1 to 2 kilometers an hour, which is a big saving to be had just from changing your clothes. So if you want to try and go fast, ditch those baggy shorts and flappy jersey for some tight-fitting clothing. Tyres are an area where there are lots of different variables, but to use your tyres to ride faster and save some precious watts without spending your hard-earned cash, you're going to really need to focus on using the correct tyre pressures, not only for you, your bike and the terrain that you're riding on. So the basic principle is that if you have your tyres too flat or underinflated, then the sidewalls of the tyres will be folding and compressing far more than what they would otherwise need to do so, which means that a lot of your energy that should be driving the bike forwards is wasted through that excess movement. Have your tyre pressures set too high, and your tyres won't deform enough to account for the bumps in the surface of the road, which means your bike is going to be bouncing around and skitting around all over the place. Now, if I was to be using a 28mm tubeless tyre, for example, I'd probably run it in the region of between 65 to 70 PSI, of course, depending on the type of roads that I'm riding on. Add an inner tube into that, probably another 5 to 10 PSI on top. But the basic principle is if you're riding on smooth roads and smooth terrain, then you can have your tyre pressures a little bit higher than what you would have otherwise done. And if you're riding on particularly poor road surface or somewhere that's bumpy, then you can afford to have your tyre pressures that little bit flatter to account for the bumps in the terrain. Now, in most cases, many people could probably run their tyres a couple of PSI lower than what they would usually do so. This will mean that you have an improvement in the comfort when you're riding along your bike, but also it should help you ride that little bit faster because your bike isn't bouncing around all over those little bumps. Next up, get rid and ditch any unwanted and unused spares that are on your bike. Think along the lines of ginormous saddlebags or frame pumps, for example. Getting rid of some of this stuff that you don't need is going to have a twofold advantage. Firstly, you're going to save some weight from your bike that's going to help you if you're trying to cycle uphill as fast as possible. Is it a big saving? Not a big one, but it is a little bit, and every little helps. And the second advantage that you'll have is if you take some of those spares and your frame pump off of your bike and tuck them away in your back pocket of your jersey, you're going to be improving the aerodynamics of your bike, again, to help you ride a little bit faster. Is it a massive saving? Absolutely not, but it is a saving that will help you ride a little bit faster. And if you want to go all out aero storage nerd, well, then use some of the storage boxes that you've seen built into bikes, such as time trial bikes, or maybe even the down tube aero storage boxes on the new Ooyy Orca Aero. Finally, a clean and well-maintained bike will be a fast one. Think along the lines of a perfectly clean and correctly lubricated chain, silky smooth bearings, and certainly no rubbing brakes. Chances are most of us have the tools and equipment needed to clean and perform some basic maintenance on our bikes. So make use of that stuff and get your bike in tip-top condition. Now, if you're unsure how to clean your bike, well, you're going to have to check out one of the many hundreds, if not thousands, of bike cleaning videos that we've made over on GCN Tech. So there you have it, 5 simple ways to help you ride faster for free. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you've got any tips of your own to share with everybody, well, let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget, subscribe to GCN Tech for all things bike tech related.